Today I'm back in the beautiful Benchakiti Ant Forest Park here in Bangkok, Thailand. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about why it's important to take care of yourself and why it's okay to be selfish. Make sure you stay till the end of this video because I'm going to give you my tips of self-care. I want to start by saying that this is not medical advice and I am not a medical professional. However, I spent 12 years in law enforcement in America and I have a fair amount of mental health training, and I've been in many different situations where I've had to use that training. So I think I have a fairly good background to be able to speak on this subject. And I think we have to start talking about what is self-care and why is it important. So it's really important that you take care of yourself. I think self-care on its own literally defines what it is. It's taking care of yourself. And I'm a firm believer that if you don't take care of yourself, nobody else probably will. Sure, we have people that love us and are around us all the time, but we must be able to take care of ourselves in the event nobody else can. And basically, to me, it just means being good to yourself, caring about your well-being, and also just taking assessment of where you are in life, what's going on with you, and what you might need. A big aspect of self-care is just being able to stop what's going on around you and say, hey, I need time for myself. I need to focus on me today and I need to take care of myself. And a lot of us don't do that. We're so busy taking care of everything else and everyone else around us that we forget to refill our own batteries. And it's really important because I'm a firm believer that if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't really take care of other people. See, it's crucially important that you are at peace with yourself and you're comfortable with where you are, even love yourself to a certain degree to truly be able to help others. Now, sure, there are people who don't really take care of themselves and they focus on taking care of other people. I have someone very close to me for many decades who has struggled with issues, but has always focused on taking care of other people because it's a way not to face your own problems at times. And doing that just allows you to focus on something else instead of what you need. And if you run out of fuel, you can't help somebody else fill up, and that's probably the best way I can explain it. But I can certainly understand why people would want to do that. I myself have been guilty of that. I'm an empath. I'm always trying to help people out. I care about people. I spent 12 years in law enforcement because I loved helping people. I know it might sound cheesy, but that is why I got into law enforcement. So I always try to focus and help other people. But years and years ago, I learned that it is so important to take care of ourselves, and I try to always take time out and take care of myself and my needs. Is it selfish? Absolutely, but it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to take care of what your needs are so you can be able to do things in life and help other people. I believe the subject of self-care is extremely important. And I want to ask you, how do you take care of yourself? I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below of ways and suggestions for others of taking care of themselves. Loving yourself is one of the most important steps in self-care. Now, it's not easy to get to the point where you love yourself. And when I say loving yourself, I don't mean it in a weird narcissistic way where you think you're the best thing that's ever happened, etc. But of course, you should care about yourself and you should love yourself and be comfortable with yourself. I got some bad news for you on that one though. It could take you a lifetime to achieve self-love. Some people can do it very quickly. I've come to a point where I love myself, I'm comfortable with myself. There's always room for improvement, but I think it's so important that we love ourselves. Even if no one else around us loves us, if it feels like nobody loves us, or if in fact nobody loves you, you should love yourself. Because if you can love yourself and radiate that beauty and that power from within, then you will find so much more peace. It's really hard to explain, and that's one of the reasons I'm really drawn to Buddhism. Again, I don't know too much about it, but to me, it's just this inner peace, inner well-being. And it comes with being able to be comfortable with yourself and loving yourself. And it takes time, it takes steps. I know some people hate themselves. They have all sorts of angst and anger inside of them, and they blame themselves. But if you can forgive yourself, that is one of the most important things, to be able to forgive ourselves. I've done things that I've had to forgive myself for, or things that I perceived that I needed to forgive myself for, but it's so crucial that we do that and we forgive ourselves and learn how to start by liking ourselves, being comfortable with ourselves, and eventually getting to the point where we truly and fully love who we are, but always progressing and moving forward in life. And as it so happens, one of the wonderful side benefits of being comfortable with yourself, self-care, and self-love is that you will start caring less about what other people think of you. That is a big portion of self-care, is just be comfortable with who you are. Who cares what somebody else thinks of you? I mean, it doesn't really affect you. You shouldn't let it affect you. If you do, find a way that you can not let it affect you, because your self-worth, your self-importance, who you are, you know who you are. It doesn't matter if there's some bozo out there that thinks that you're not a good person, etc. You know who you are. You know what kind of person you are. And if you can get to the point where you don't care what other people think about you, you will feel so much more comfortable about yourself. Trust me on this one. Many times self-care involves removing yourself from surroundings of other people. And what I mean by that is very clear. Just be by yourself. Go do what makes you happy. Go find some space and take care of yourself. And sometimes those well-meaning friends are the ones that can really interfere with our self-care and love. You know, I find it that it's very important to have good, positive people around you. Surround yourself with people who are winners, who are at your level and above. Now, that doesn't mean that you should cut out people who are struggling in life. Not at all. If they're good people, you should keep them in your life. But if you have people who are constantly negative, always bringing you down and always telling you the things you can't do, and just basically they're just negative and they just drain you, well, you might have to cut those people out of your life. It might sound really harsh, but you have to preserve yourself and save yourself. And sometimes those people, they just drain our energy, they drain all of our powers in life, so to speak, and they just don't add anything because they always bring you down. You want people who always lift you up and bring you up. And that's part of self-care, is having the right kind of people around you. People who are positive and who are uplifting. Look, I understand we all hit bad patches in life. We all have problems. I'm not saying that you get rid of people the moment they have some kind of problem in life. That's not it at all. But if they are sucking the life force out of you, and if they're depleting your energy and not adding anything to your life, you might reconsider whether or not they're important to you. And that's one of the reasons why it's so important to be able to take care of yourself, because then you can avoid all of these negative people, all the things they say about you, because you're comfortable with yourself, because you have taken the time to work on yourself, to make yourself feel better, and to understand who you are. During my 12 years in law enforcement, I've had so many people say such horrific things to me about me, what they're going to do to my parents, etc. But you know what? I never let it bother me. Why? Because I was comfortable with myself, comfortable with who I am, my flaws and all. I'm constantly working on it. But once you can achieve this certain level through self-care, then you don't really worry about what other people think about you. And like I said before, when you can do that, your life will get so much better and you'll have so much less stress. All of this self-care and self-love did not come easy for me, so don't feel bad if it takes time for you. I spent many, many years as I grew up and got older trying to figure things out for myself and figuring out what made me happy, what made me comfortable. And it's a process, and some people can do it in 10 years, 5 years, 2 years. Some people can spend their whole life and not quite get there. Everything's a journey, you know, that's the important part. We're always progressing, and as long as you're willing to learn and to progress in life, then that will be fine. Don't worry about perfection. Just work on yourself and work about caring about yourself, and everything will start going in your direction. I absolutely guarantee you that. This topic of why it's important to take care of yourself is very near and dear to my heart, because like I said, I spent 12 years in law enforcement. I helped a lot of people. I dealt with counseling, helped people going through things, whether it was people that we went to help or even our own officers and the deputies that worked for me. So it's been very important for me to be able to help people and help them understand good aspects of self-care and self-love and how they can help themselves out of certain situations. So at this point, I want to give you some tips as far as self-care and things that have worked for me. I'm sure you might have some other ones, and I'd love to hear them in the comments. But some of the things that I would say is just take a break. I think it's really important just to be able to take a break from everything. Put down that device, turn off Netflix, and just take some time to yourself. Take time to yourself, figure out what you need, and basically sit down, look inside, and do a little checklist. Check in with yourself. See what you're missing. See what you need. Unplug from everything. It's just crucial to do that. Another thing is, like I said before, forgive yourself. That is so important. Being able to forgive yourself for something that you did wrong or something that you think you might have done wrong that you actually didn't is a crucial part of self-care and growing. We make mistakes. We will always make mistakes. None of us are perfect. Just forgive yourself and move forward in your life. Go for a walk. This might sound kind of silly. I love going for walks. I walk like 10 kilometers a day on average here in Bangkok because I love to go and explore. But it just clears my mind. And a lot of times I like to go by myself because I can think by myself. I don't have to have a conversation with somebody. I can just walk around. I can think through things. I can even talk through things by myself and work on them. So taking a walk, especially outside, getting away from all the crazy stuff, maybe finding a little park or some nature, super helpful. I would highly recommend you do that. Another great tip for self-care is do something that you enjoy. Treat yourself, find something that you love, and give yourself permission to go do it and go enjoy it. Even if it's some silly little thing that you love. You want to go for a bicycle ride, or you want to go get yourself an ice cream, or whatever it is, buy yourself a book to read. Whatever it is that you enjoy that makes you feel good about yourself, go out and do that. You deserve it. And I know I mentioned this before, but try to avoid negative people in your life. It isn't always easy because a lot of times those negative people are our friends, our bosses, and our family members. And sometimes we just have to deal with it. But like I said before, if it's someone who's extremely toxic, there is nothing wrong with cutting that person out of your life. Again, it's not harsh. You have to work on self-preservation and you have to take care of yourself. Yourself is important. And once you can take care of yourself, then you can really take care of other people. Another important aspect of self-care is do something for yourself from a physical standpoint. And what I mean by that is like get a haircut, maybe get your nails done, maybe get a new t-shirt. There's something about that when we look good, we feel good. And it might be something very minor, but when you look good, you feel good about yourself. And that is a huge part of self-care that a lot of people forget. Setting goals is another big part of self-care. Set goals for things you want to achieve. If you don't achieve them, don't worry about it. A lot of times in that journey is the best part of it, where we learn things and we find what we need for ourselves, and it's still taking care of yourself. Most importantly, know what your needs are and move forward with them. I really hope this topic of self-care was something that you found interesting because I think it's one of the most important things in life is to be able to take care of ourselves. Guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to put up some videos here that I think you would really enjoy. And there's a reason at the end of my videos I always say, please take care of yourself. And I think now you know why. It's important that you do take care of yourselves. And I care about you and I want you to be well. So as always, please take care of yourselves and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.